meeting to order and ask that you please rise for the invocation and pledge of allegiance from Council Member Miss Mary McKenna.
Let's bow our heads in prayer. Lord our God, we give you honor and praise. You are the source of every grace and blessing. Thank you for the many gifts you have given to us and to our community. Lord, we pray for your presence among us to guide and direct our minds and thoughts so that this meeting is full of wisdom, productivity, and respect for one another. Be with us, O Lord, and help us to accomplish your work and your goals in our lives and in our community. We ask this through your Son, Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you, Ms. McKenna. On to item 3, motion finding that the advanced posting and notice requirements of Article 8.1200 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Orange, Texas have been met in relation to all minutes and pending ordinances and resolutions on this agenda, and that the reading of such items be confined to the captions as are agreed upon by the ordinances and resolutions. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Ms. McKenna? Mr. Childs? Ms. Hennigan? Mr. Birch?
Aye.
Mr. Chandler? Ms. Salter? Okay, motion passes. On to citizen comments. At this time, comments will be taken from the audience on any subject matter, whether or not that item is on the agenda. All comments are limited to a maximum of 3 minutes for each speaker, and your comments are appreciated. As the Texas Open Meetings Act does not allow the council to respond to items not listed on the agenda, your comments will be duly noted by the council and forwarded to the appropriate department for prompt consideration. A member of the audience that desires to speak during the City Council's consideration of any specific agenda item is requested to notify city staff prior to the start of the meeting. At this time, the name that I have on my list is Miss Ebony Robinson. Please come forward, state your name and address, and you have 3 minutes.
Good morning, my name is Yvonne Robinson. I moved from Orange in 2002, but I returned November 22nd of this year. And what I noticed is there are not many street lights when you get to certain areas, like once you get to 16th Street, headed back east, and then towards Simmons, Brownwood, the street lights are out. And I noticed this when I went to a Christmas cantata at Salem United Methodist Church, and I was walking out to my car. It's very hard to see if you're stepping off the curb into the street. So I would like to see more street lights now that I'm back home, and I'm glad to be back, really glad.
All right, well, welcome back.
Yes.
Okay, is there anyone else who would like to address the council? Okay, if not, we will close citizen comments, move to city announcements. Mr. Coons? Zero? Well, I guess 0 is better than bad or negative, so we'll take that. Item 6, consent agenda. We have October 22nd, 2024, Orange Economic Development Corporation meeting minutes, November 12th, 2024, regular city council meeting minutes, and November 19th, 2024, special call city council meeting minutes. Do I have a motion?
Motion. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Ms. Salter? Mr. Chandler?
Aye.
Mr. Birch?
Aye.
Ms. Hennigan? Mr. Childs? Ms. McKenna? Okay, motion passes. On to item 7, ordinances, final reading. Consider an ordinance supporting the establishment of a reinvestment zone for property located at 1750 IP Way Road, Orange, Texas, 77632. The first reading was November 19th of 2024. Mr. Trahan.
Yes, so Mayor and Council, this is the final step in terms of working with the consulting firm. And once we execute this consulting firm will be able to work on state level incentives for the project site. I'll turn it back over to you.
Okay, any questions or comments from Mr. Trahan? Okay, I will say that I'm very excited to finish this out, to make sure that we're making it possible for the new company to take advantage of everything possible.
Right.
So thank you to staff and everyone involved in making this happen. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
We have a motion and a second. Ms. McKenna? Mr. Childs? Ms. Hennigan? Mr. Birch?
Aye.
Mr. Chandler? Ms. Salter? Okay, motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Trahan. Item 8A, consider a motion to approve the proposed one-time event, Orange is Alive in 2025, scheduled for April 5th, 2025. The event aims to enhance tourism and the hotel industry, promote community engagement, and showcase the city of Orange as a premier destination. Ms. Devon Williams.
Mayor and council, we are requesting approval for the one-time event Orange is Alive in 2025, scheduled for April the 5th, 2025. This event offers something truly special, featuring a drone show, a silent disco, and a flash mob, an experience unlike anything we've done or seen in our community before. This event is designed to enhance local tourism, boost the hotel industry, foster community engagement, and strengthen Orange as a premier destination. However, the options include proceeding with the proposed date of April 5th, 2025, or postponing to 2026. I'll turn it over to you.
Okay, so do we have any comments or questions for Ms. Williams?
She sounds very excited, so happy to move things forward for our city.
Absolutely.
I hate that there's not another date in 2025.
Well, after we researched other dates, this one just seemed the most opportune to host the event. We do understand that there are other events that will be held, the day prior to April 5th and on April the 5th. But we thought that this would create some synergy for, our community. So,
I think she's concerned that the Lions Carnival happens that weekend, and this is their major fundraiser, and this is right on top of it. I've been in touch with some of the Lions members. We're the Little Cypress Lions, so we're just like below them, and we're having to readjust what we do. And if you take your major fundraiser out of this is the largest service organization in the world, but our fundraiser will have to close down early, just so people can go down there.
I believe that Lions Club agreed to close at 8, if I'm not mistaken.
I agree, but
Soon.
they shouldn't have to. I mean,
I'm afraid of how it's gonna appear to not only the members of the Lions, but members of the community that we're scheduling something at the time of their biggest fundraiser on their Saturday night, their second Saturday night, which is a big night. I really just
and the Lions
And the
Carnival,
Lions
don't
how
like
many
the way
years?
it
80
looks.
years?
Yes.
80 years.
Yes.
And the Lions really depend on that money, because a lot of the services is to help people with the.
My understanding is that day that this is happening, it's Kitty Day. And so everybody that goes out there for the Kitty Day, wait till the kids go, and then the adults show up like at 6:30. So, and that's where the major money comes from, is the adults. So if we close at 8 o'clock, so we're only getting 2 hours of that adult money, and that's our largest day ever,
That's right.
is for the Lions Club, is that particular day. So if we only get 2 hours of that money, that's
That's a lot of money.
$50,000 probably from that point on that
Or
we
eight,
lose.
yeah.
Yes, from 8 to 11. You know,
Take a
so,
look at it for 2026, we certainly can.
well, I'm just,
But we like the idea. We're not,
I do like the idea.
The thing is though, I need Lions Club to tell us what they're doing ahead of time. Cause staff didn't do this once they found out what Lions was doing. Staff did this way long time ago. And then the Lions Club said, oh, well, that's the same weekend as ours. So this wasn't like they planned it on top of Lions. Lions came back in and we didn't know until they had already come up with it. Cause was this the date as Lions Club last year?
yes.
Pretty
Yes.
much around the same time.
Lions has been in the spring for like the last 4 or 5 years.
Yes.
Right, but was it that weekend though?
I
Yes.
don't believe so. Was it?
That's how it falls.
Well, they told us it moved. That's why y'all had to have a special meeting to choose a date. So that's why I'm like, I don't understand. But however, if we move it to next year, I'm gonna need somebody to tell us what they're doing. Because if it falls on the next year, I don't know what to tell you. You see what I'm saying?
So we don't have no date.
The different groups need to work together and let people know ahead of time.
Is there no other date in 25?
Because what happens is, if there's no other date really in 2025, because we have so then after that, there's the big Juneteenth. So staff, we know we're already in a cost crunch. And then staff was trying to find something extra. This was something that I had talked to them about as far as showing people that, you know, hey, look at what we've got going here, trying to pull people back in. But we have so many other events that are like right there, then you would have to like say, well, we're not gonna do this, because this is a pretty big one that they were pushing for. But if we do it in 2026, we can do it in 2026. And I'm not upset with any of it. I just wanna make sure before this year is up, somebody tell me what 2026 is going on with Lions and any other large group, if that's okay. Because if this is every time, then we should be able to tell me then before the end of the year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let me know what 2026 is, and we'll tell staff to go from there.
You already have a deposit down, and you're only good for 180 days, one way or the other, correct?
I'm sorry.
You already have a deposit on the show?
We have not entered into
No, we
a
haven't done it
contract
yet.
agreement. That was the next item on the agenda.
One of my other concerns about this day, and again, I'm all for it.
Mhm.
I met with you and Mike, and y'all know I'm all for it. The up to $80,000 for the first part of it, we haven't seen any type of budget. What's entailed in that $80,000?
Well,
It's just for your requesting $80,000, and we know there's a DJ show, but I know the DJ show doesn't cost $80,000.
correct. It was for the special services included into it. There are a lot of components that go into all of our events, and generally that's about what we would spend on our events that we host throughout the year.
You call how much October best orange total?
I believe it ranged between 140 to 150,000.
That's what I kind of recall. So again, an event, events such as, and we're gonna talk more about, the events in general later in the meeting. But this idea that we can do a quality event for like $20,000, no, that's not gonna happen.
Well, the drone show is amazing, when you have money set aside for that, so that works.
And again, the drone show, which we talked about again last
Meeting.
month, $37,000. That's to rent the drones, basically. That's not staff time, that's not advertising, I mean, that's just that. So again, we hear some of these bands that come in, a few $1,000s or several $1,000s, that's just for that. That's not, again, everything else that's associated with that. So this idea that we can do a quality event for $20,000, I would say maybe not as much in 2024, 2025 prices.
All other days are filled up in the spring?
Yeah, so we can.
They were trying to use the original plot was to use the synergy of the art in the park. And like I said, so if art in the park still happening?
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna stop that because of Lions Club?
Weren't planning on it.
No.
No, I'm just saying, like, so that's what they were building it off of. That's why I'm letting you see it wasn't like, oh, the Lions Club is doing something, we're gonna jump on
I
it.
think the city did that on purpose.
Yeah, this
at
was
all.
this was Art in the
It's
Park week, so we were like,
Yeah,
let's do it
exactly.
next year in Art in the Park. And then the Lions Club was it during Art in the Park last year?
Yes.
We benefited from Art in the Park. because
Absolutely.
Art in the Park
And
is-
so
It's not the
that was-
daytime that's the problem, it's the nighttime when the
Mhm.
parents spend all the money.
So
But that was what they were
everyone
trying to
came
do.
from Art in
Yes.
the Park over to the Lions Carnival. We saw the whole town move over from one event to the other.
Yeah.
But now, in the evening, you're splitting the events. You see what I'm saying?
No, I get it, and we can move it. That's why we needed to have this conversation. I just want staff to know, like, I thank you for what you put together. We're not saying like this is not a cool idea. It's just we see now that we have to make sure we don't involve Lions Club week or 2 weeks, and we'll work on it in 2026 because I don't see it going forward unless there's someone that's going to vote for it to go forward. It's okay. Part of it's local government. That's what happens. Okay, we'll talk about it and we'll make sure we go find every entity in Orange and see what they're doing. But I want to find out as soon as possible when Kiwanis, Lions, Rotary, if anybody's thinking about doing something in 2026, we need to see when they're doing it so we don't, because in 2026, we're actually 190, so we're doing something. If we hurt somebody's feelings, oh well, it's 190 years we're doing something.
I like that idea.
Yes. So this was a prelude to something really, really cool then, but we'll talk about that another day. Okay, so this one will,
No action.
no action, yeah. So with that being said, then I will dismiss item 9A.
If you agree to go,
So consider a resolution awarding a contract to Sky Wonder Pyrotechnics in the amount of $37,500 to host a drone show for the Oranges Alive in 2025 event. That will be,
no consideration, so that, again, that $37,500,
Will be
which
received.
we are gonna take out of contingency fund
okay,
for this fiscal year's budget, we will not obviously need that $37,500.
okie dokie, what Mike just said, because I can't repeat it word for word.
So
Thank you, Mike.
It's,
Okay.
it's the date
We
for
table it, just look
next
at
year
the
for
calendar one
for
more
Lions
time.
Club,
So that's for this year,
for 2025.
April 2nd through 5th. So then ask him what it's gonna do for 2026, that's what I need.
To add a weekend so that we compensate for that?
Well, I've already went from it.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you, Miss Williams.
You're welcome. Thank
You're
you.
gonna be hard to get that weekend or another weekend, so
Well,
can
they-
you slide
I'm not talking about.
or add, add a weekend to your
Okay, item 9B, consider a resolution awarding a contract to PVS DX Incorporated in an amount not to exceed $74,989 for the bid 2025-08 water well liquid chlorine.
Good morning, Mayor. Good morning, Council.
Good morning.
This contract is an annual contract for disinfecting chemicals that we use at the water treatment plant to disinfect the groundwater. The winning bid was PVS DX Incorporated. They've been providing our chlorine for a number of years now. We recommend approval of their bid of $74,989.
I like this because they didn't put the 1 cent on it this time. All right, any questions or comments from Mr. Jack? Do I have a motion?
Motion.
We have a motion and a second. Ms. McKenna,
Aye.
Mr. Childs,
Aye.
Ms. Hennigan,
Aye.
Mr. Birch,
Aye.
Mr. Chandler, Ms. Salter. Okay, motion passes. Item 9C, consider a resolution awarding a contract to Patterson Equipment Company in an amount not to exceed $56,725 for the purchase of a hydro vacuum trailer. Mr. Jack.
Yes, this is a new piece of equipment that was in the FY25 budget requested by the Department of Utilities. The Utilities Group exercises our valves throughout the city on a regular basis, and some of those valves are 100+ years old. They get a lot of dirt inside of the valve configuration, and the valves usually take 20 to 30 turns to open and close manually. This trailer will clean those valve boxes out automatically with a vacuum, as well as have a mechanical item to open and close the valve in less than a minute.
Wow.
It's a great investment and efficiency investment for their time, so they can focus more on leaks and things like that rather than stand in the street, which is also a safety concern for a period of time to manually open and close our valves. Staff recommends approval of this new item.
Okay.
Motion.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Ms. Salter, Mr. Chandler, Mr. Birch,
Aye.
Ms. Hennigan,
Aye.
Mr. Childs,
Aye.
Ms. McKenna.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Jack. Item 9D, consider a resolution awarding a contract to Kinlock Equipment and Supply in an amount not to exceed $82,362.50 for the purchase of a jet rodder trailer. Mr. Jack.
Also on the FY25 budget for the Utilities Division, this is a replacement for a jet rodder trailer. Jet rodder is a piece of equipment that we use to clean or to take care of sewer blocks and clean the insides of manholes and things like that. It is a replacement of the piece of equipment that we have now. Staff recommends approval.
Okay, do we have any questions for Mr. Jack?
Motion.
We have a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Ms. McKenna,
Aye.
Mr. Childs,
Aye.
Ms. Hennigan, Mr. Birch,
Aye.
Mr. Chandler,
Aye.
Ms. Salter. Okay, motion passes. Item 9E, Mr. Jack, consider a resolution awarding a contract to LJA Engineering in an amount not to exceed $172,700 to develop bid documents and perform construction phase services to repair an ultraviolet light disinfection basin at the Jackson Street wastewater treatment plant. Mr. Jack.
Yes, Mayor. A few years back, we had damage to the plant. Somebody dumped some sort of a solvent into our system, which damaged the plant, and in particular, the UV basin damaged some of the lights, the holders for the lights, and such. As part of that work, we also now have to make some renovations to the plant. Since we're gonna work on that portion of the basin, we have to bring the basin up to regulations, similar to if you make revisions to a building, you need to sometimes bring it up to ADA compliance. So as a result of those regulatory compliances, we need to hire an engineer to do plans and construction inspection of the work that we're gonna do at the UV basin. This task order is under an annual contract that you all approved a few months ago, and we're gonna use that contract to do engineering services and construction phase services to oversee this work at the UV basin. Staff recommends approval.
Okie dokie. All right, do we have any questions or comments? Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Okay, we have a motion
Second.
and a second. Ms. Salter, Mr. Chandler, Mr. Birch, Ms. Hennigan, Mr. Childs, Ms. McKenna. All right, thank you, Mr. Jack. Item 10A, consider a motion approving action taken by the EDC concerning a timeline extension through June 30th, 2025 for Childs Manufacturing and Building Supply due to coordination efforts with TxDOT. Mr. Trahan.
Mayor Spears, I need to recuse myself.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Childs.
Okay, so this is a follow-up in terms of this morning's EDC meeting. And basically, the rationale is to allow more time to continue to communicate with TxDOT to zero in on the curb cut request that's along the frontage road. Very complex situation with many action steps, but we as a staff continue to work with the project owner in terms of moving the project forward, but it will require additional time. So I'll turn it back over to you for consideration.
All right.
Make a motion.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Ms. McKenna, Mr. Childs, I'm sorry, Ms. Hennigan,
Aye.
Mr. Birch,
Aye.
Mr. Chandler, Ms. Salter. Sorry about that, I was reading my list. Okay, motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Trahan. All right, item 10B, consider a motion approving action taken by the Orange Economic Development Corporation in the form of a motion of intent approving an Orange Economic Development Corporation incentive for the boiler replacement at Orange City Hall, located at 812 North 16th Street, Orange, Texas, 77630, with funding not to exceed $30,000. Mr. Trahan.
Yes, so Mayor and Council, this action item was also approved by the EDC earlier this morning. The rationale and the justification, there are 3 EDC offices that are occupied on the south side of the City Hall building, along with the use of the conference room for various project meetings. And so basically, this will be a line item type of an expenditure that we've met with the finance director, and it basically involves a capital outlay expenditure. The official bid was $23,800, but we always like increasing our budgeted amount to allow for a contingency once they get into the project. So we're requesting $30,000. Turn it back over to you.
Okay, any questions or comments? I have a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Motion to second. Ms. Salter, Mr. Chandler, Mr. Birch, Ms. Hennigan, Mr. Childs, Ms. McKenna. Okay, motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Trahan. Item 10C, consider a motion approving the Orange County Tax Abatement Guidelines effective January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2026. Mr. Trahan.
So this is a 2-year review. This is in support of the Orange County tax abatement policy, of which Orange County just recently approved it at one of their commissioners' court meeting. And just so you'll know, we have the latitude as a governmental entity, as a taxing line item, that we can consider an incentive for a project up to 10 years. So it can be whatever percentage that, you as a council decide in the form of an incentive. This just creates the opportunity to extend that for staff to be able to have that conversation with a project owner or consultant. So I'll turn it back over to you.
Okay. Any questions or comments? Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Can we have a motion, second and a third? Ms. McKenna,
Aye.
Mr. Childs, Ms. Hennigan, Mr. Birch, Mr. Chandler, Ms. Salter. Okay, motion passes. On to item 10D. Consider a motion approving action taken by the Orange EDC in the form of a motion of intent approving an EDC incentive with Red Gator Rentals, 3400 Edgar Brown Drive, Orange, Texas, 77630, for eligible infrastructure improvements in an amount not to exceed $120,000 for the purpose of economic development. Ms. Hillary Gravitt.
Good morning, Mayor and Council. Excuse me. So just an overview of the project for anyone who may not be familiar. Sorry. The project is located at 3400 Edgar Brown Drive. Currently, they are located in Sulphur, Louisiana, and Red Gator Rentals is moving over to Texas, and they've chosen the city of Orange to expand their business into. So we're very excited about that. Their total capital investment for the project is approximately $575,000, and they have requested an incentive in an amount not to exceed $120,000 for the purpose of economic development. So I will turn it back over to you guys, and I'll answer any questions you may have.
Okay, any questions or comments from Ms. Gravitt?
Excited, another business coming.
Ain't lying.
Another.
We'll take it. All right.
I'll
Any,
make a motion.
make a motion?
Second.
We have a motion, a second, and a third. Ms. Salter? Mr. Chandler? Mr. Birch?
Aye.
Ms. Hennigan?
Aye.
Mr. Childs? Ms. McKenna?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Thank you, Ms. Gravitt.
Thank you.
Okay, item 10E, consider a motion appointing or reappointing blank to the Board of Adjustment for a term ending December 31st, 2026. Mr. Knopf?
There are currently 4 positions that are for appointment on the Board of Adjustment. 3 of them are full terms that are expiring at the end of December. One is an unexpired term due to the passing of Lynn Cardner. So you have 4 applications in your packet. 3 of those currently serve on the Board of Adjustment, and then 1 person, Mr. Rhodes, currently serves on the Citizen Advisory Committee. So,
Okay. Ms. Salter, you said you had a comment?
Yes, I just want to give a suggestion. Many times people apply for these boards and then they give it to you and you come before us. I wanted to see if it's possible for us to put in some type of process where the nomination, the people can come before us and perhaps let us know a little bit about them so that we can have some type of engagement. We know why they are applying for this to see if it really aligns with the organization. We need to know who these people are instead of us just coming up with a name and we just voting. We need them to let us know why they are interested in this board and what their mission is for it and what their vision and what the qualifications are.
I think not just for this particular board, but for all boards.
Yes.
We can certainly nominate and appoint people however y'all wish. We just need that guidance from y'all.
Right.
We do have an
So-
application to read.
Well, we have the application,
Yes,
but
we
we
do.
don't, but that doesn't really tell us. We had an opportunity when we had to vote for someone and I didn't really know any of them. And so I ended up saying yes, because I guess,
That's
but
basically all the
it
time.
doesn't make it right. I think that it would be more fair if everyone would come, voice why they would like to be on the board, tell us a little bit about who they are, so we can have some type of engagement with them and not just see a name. I don't wanna just vote for a name. I wanna know who you are and why you wanna be on this board and what your qualifications are and what your vision is for being on the board. So I think that would help us all out, as well.
one thing you might want to think about is, under this current board, we have 4 positions and 4 applicants, so it's fairly easy. But suppose you had 10 applicants. Do you want all 10 people to come and then the time involved, to have all 10 make presentations, or do they get 3 minutes?
Maybe it would be as
Or,
simple
you
as
know,
just
and,
putting
and we
another
just need some
question on the
guidance.
application.
I'm sorry?
Why do you want to serve? I don't think that's on there. Maybe we can just add a question to the application, and then council members have that to read prior to the meeting.
Because we need something to actually go by, because everybody, possibly may want
Well,
to
Ms. Hennigan
be
is
on the
correct.
board,
It does
you know?
state in their application what, their qualifications. It states
It
in
states
it
that.
already. Yes.
But a lot of times when people are going for things, they speak before the people. They speak before and let people know a little bit about them.
Yeah.
So they're on the board, they're
Let
gonna
me see,
be
yes.
interacting with us, with people, and so.
You're gonna scare them all away. The number one fear in the world is speaking in public.
Well, I was gonna say,
Well, I mean-
our website tells us
They won't wanna do it.
commission boards, correct?
I'm sorry?
Our website lists who's on commissions and
Yes.
boards,
Uh-huh.
and when their terms expire.
Yes.
So,
Okay.
since the agenda item is the actual appointment or reappointment of people, why don't, as opposed to the process of that we do that, my recommendation to y'all is, how about in January, we have a discussion item about how we do this?
I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree.
That's good.
So y'all can start thinking about how y'all would like to do it, and then the logistics of that. Because one of the concerns I would have, again, if we had 10 people
But
want to speak.
what's the odds of that? We never really have that many
But
people.
what if these people
That's
aren't
why I don't feel like we need to do this.
qualified enough for being?
Actually, for P and Z,
Well,
we
they may
have a
not
lot of
qualify,
applications.
disqualify them, but they're-
That's what I was just gonna say, you gotta make sure you're here.
The P and Z appointments, there were like
That
12
list on the website,
applications.
And if we have applications already, we can contact.
The P and Z
people, ask
appointments
council
that you made
members
last September, there were like 12 or so applications for that.
Instead of having them come in.
So, but
We-
we'll
we
put
can
it back
think
on
about
the
it.
agenda for the January meeting and have a discussion on that.
Okay.
So
Okay.
again, we're back at consideration, a motion appointing or reappointing someone to the Board of Adjustment.
Okay, so we have 4 spots available, and
And
we
the
have
first 3
4
are
names.
for full terms, and then the fourth one is to fulfill the unexpired term.
Okay, I'll nominate Isaac Tommy Henry III for the first one.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion and a second.
Can we
Ms.
say
Mc...
bad things about him while he's here?
Yep, I will. Ms. McKenna,
Aye.
Mr. Childs, Ms. Hennigan,
Aye.
Mr. Birch,
Aye.
Mr. Chandler, Ms. Salter. Whoever would have said nay would have got a ticket on the way out. I'm sorry, I gotta go back up each time to the list and then go back down.
Todd Luke.
Okay, you already have it pulled up? Thank you, there we go. So let me go back up to the top. Thank you, Ms. Hennigan, because it's hard to like scroll. Okay, item 10F, consider a motion appointing or reappointing blank to the Board of Adjustments for a term ending December 31st, 2026. And she nominated,
Todd Luke.
or do I have to wait until I read it? Okay, Todd Loop. We have a second for Todd Loop.
Second.
Okay, all right, we have a first and a second. Ms. Salter,
Aye.
Mr. Chandler,
Aye.
Mr. Birch,
Aye.
Ms. Hennigan,
Aye.
Mr. Childs,
Aye.
Ms. McKenna.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Item 10G, consider a motion appointing or reappointing blank to the Board of Adjustment for a term ending December 31st, 2026. Mr. Knopf, same thing.
Same thing. Yes, sir.
Nominate Keith Longlois.
Okay, nomination of Keith Longlois. Do we have a second?
No, he didn't apply.
Oh, okay, it's one of these 4.
Yeah.
So you have Benny Rhodes
Oh,
left and Edward Freeberg.
Keith is still there until 2025.
Yeah,
He's good.
there's the 2 names left are Benny Rhodes and Edward Freeberg.
I'll nominate Benny Rhodes.
Okay, we have a nomination for Benny Rhodes. We
I
have a
might
second.
point out, Mr. Freiberg currently serves on it, and he's currently the chairman.
Okay. Okay.
So you need us
His
to
term
nominate
is
him
up.
next.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but go ahead. If you want to appoint him, if you want to appoint Benny Rhodes to a 2-year term and Mr. Freiberg to a 1-year term, that's the decision.
Well, then take it back
Yeah,
and say
whatever you
Edward
say.
Freeberg.
Okay, Edward
Okay.
Freeberg, sorry.
Edward Freeberg. Then I'll make a second. We have a first and a second. Ms. McKenna, Mr. Childs, Ms. Hennigan,
Aye.
Mr. Birch,
Aye.
Mr. Chandler, Ms. Salter. Okay, and last but not least, item 10H, consider a motion appointing blank to the Board of Adjustment to fill an unexpired term ending December 31st, 2025. Mr. Knopf, this is the
Yes,
last guy.
this is
I'll
the
nominate
last
Benny
one.
Rhodes.
Second.
Can we have a first and a second? And Ms. McKenna,
Aye.
Mr. Childs,
Aye.
Ms. Hennigan,
Aye.
Mr. Birch,
Aye.
Mr. Chandler, Ms. Salter. Okay, motion passes. All right, discussion regarding a survey to gather council feedback on city-hosted events. Ms. Devon Williams.
Hello again. So I'm gonna pass this to the center person.
Oh, yeah, I'm in the middle.
So, Mayor and Council, the CVB team is seeking the council's input through a brief survey to evaluate city-hosted events. We would like your feedback so it will help us identify improvements, explore new event ideas, and better align our efforts with community engagement goals. This survey will also shape a broader community survey that we will then pass along to the CVB Advisory Board, and then we'll open it up for community feedback. This survey will be accessible today through December the 16th, and all responses collected are anonymous. So I'll turn it over to you. Make sure you scan those QR
Yeah.
codes.
I think this is wonderful. Real quick for council and for those who are in attendance. So over the years, you know, we've all worked very hard to bring in events, and we've established some amazing things. And I know it's because staff has heard from the community through Facebook or whatever. We've heard through the grocery store or at church what people wanted. However, now that we're 7 years into it, I think we're starting to see a decline. I don't think we are. We're seeing a decline in attendance. We're seeing a decline. Like some of the boat races only have like 20 people show up and things of that nature. So now that we've satisfied people, some have gotten complacent. So now staff has worked to say, let's go find out what they want next. Let's start to change some of our events and go find new things. Maybe even allow them to even see some of the bands that we might be thinking about bringing in and saying, hey, which one of these bands would you like? Versus where it's always just us or staff choosing it. Let's see who they really would like to have. So I think this is awesome. And that's the thought process behind that is, instead of it always just being what we're hearing in the grocery store, now we can say, what do you want? But also, if they don't respond, or if we bring something and they're like, why'd y'all bring that? That's what you asked for. You know, we're doing what they asked.
Excellent idea.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like that.
Yep.
That's great.
All
Thank
right.
y'all.
You gotta do it.
That is really
You gotta
great.
do it. And
So-
it's anonymous, so we don't know.
I'm gonna put on there, Mike Coast is
So,
trash.
and you have a, so when you're doing this survey, how often are you checking it? Or how often, is there a deadline?
The deadline for you guys is December the 16th. And then once we meet with our advisory committee, we'll have the survey for a certain amount of time for them, and then we'll post it on our website throughout the year. So it'll always be up on the website.
Oh, that's great.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So there's not a vote to be taken. This is
No.
just discussion.
Yes, thank you.
Great job.
Okay.
Great job, staff, team members, family.
That's a
All
good
right.
idea.
Mhm.
Come up with that one. That's a good one.
Great job. All right, city manager report.
All
Mr.
right,
Coops.
good morning, Mayor and Council. I gotta squint and read my notes here. So, City Hall, Friday, this Friday will be closed from noon to 2 p.m. for, team building, activities. There will be no council meeting December the 24th. Y'all will to show up, all will be here, and the door will be locked. So, because of the Christmas holidays, then that's why we're gonna cancel that regular council meeting. But the city holiday is Christmas Eve, which is December 24th, and Christmas Day, which is December 25th, and then of course, New Year's Day, January 1st. So those are the three city holidays. So our next regular council meeting will be January the 14th. It's a morning meeting at 9 a.m. So we will not see y'all for a while. So have a good rest of the year.
You as well.
All right. Thank you. And now we will move to city council report. Ms. Salter.
No report.
Okay.
No report.
Come on, man. You ain't got nothing.
Merry Christmas.
There you go. All right.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, we did have the Ranger for, canned food drive for Salvation Army that was really successful, like almost 15,000 pounds of, food.
15,000 pounds of food.
7.5 tons. That's crazy.
Awesome.
All right. What you got?
I had a constituent reach out to me about a praise report, if you will. She had she had something happen to her a couple days before Thanksgiving, and so I asked her if she would, because we hear a lot about things that the city doesn't do or the employees don't do or blah blah blah, and this was actually a good thing that a city employee did. So I asked her if she would come to city council and speak her 3 minutes and let everybody hear. And so she wrote a letter, a card, and it says, "I'm writing this letter in reference to Mr. Teddy Highland." Am I saying his name right?
Hilliard.
Hilliard, okay. I contacted his office on 11/25 to find out if I could do anything about the dumping of trash on a vacant lot directly in front of my doors. I was very upset since I was hosting Thanksgiving at my house for the first time in over 35 years. Someone dumped a rusty water heater along with the box of their new one. He informed me that it would be the first week in December. Well, Mr. Hilliard showed up and picked it up himself. I felt so bad, but yet so grateful for his doing that for me. I just wanted to commend Mr. Hilliard. The rest was just about contacting Brad and myself and what a fabulous mayor we have. And so
we gotta go give them some money, dude. Yeah.
anyway, so I think it's important that Mr. Hilliard know
Yeah, let's
that
make sure
is
he
good
finds out.
deed didn't go unrecognized.
That's very nice. So
Oh, that was Mrs. Diane Hebert.
Oh, yeah.
Miss Diane Hebert.
So please let him know
Yes.
that we are thankful for him. That's awesome.
She is awesome. Yes.
Okay. Ms. Hennigan,
No report.
Mr. Childs.
Orange is mourning the loss of a man that was larger than life. Red-legged, Carter Deals, passed away suddenly. He's one of those people, when he came into your store or you saw him in the grocery store, you wanted to see this gentleman. I mean, we all should strive to be like that, where somebody just wants to see you every single day.
Wow.
And my prayers go out to the family and the friends of Red-legged.
Man.
That's all.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Thanks for coming, and Happy New Year, since we won't see you till after that. Hospice has, which I work for, Hospice has our toilet paper tea Thursday, December 12th. So from 10 to 2 at our hospice office. So come and grab a roll of toilet paper off the shelf or a cleaning supply or whatever you like, and come join us for lunch and some good cheer, and then we can use our cash for helping patients that we serve who are dying. So be there and be square, and come see me, and Merry Christmas.
All right, so this is the last meeting of the year. I just want to honestly say, first, thank you to all the team members across the city. Thank you for your due diligence. I know that this year has been very hard on everyone. At this time last year, we had just lost International Paper and Invista, and we found ways to make it work. I know that we had to go through some serious budget cuts. I know that many of you felt like, why are we doing this? Why are we cutting that? And I hated it, and I hated that we had to go there. But I know that God is going to rebuild us back better than ever before. But however, before we get to that part, I just want to say thank you, because I know it was tough on many of you to have to tell your other team members or employees what was happening and why, and then for us to have to tell them. But we always wanted to be transparent and honest. We've gotten through this part. We still have the rest of 2025 until the new fiscal budget, but we're going to continue to work. And I wanted you to know from the bottom of my heart, thank you for all that y'all do. When things turn around, not if, when things turn around, if we can find a way to make the raises and things better than ever before, I hope that God gives us that, because y'all deserve it. So thank you for your efforts. Thank you for all that you've done. Thank you to City Council for all that y'all do each and every day. Like Paul said, we don't hear the good stuff most of the time, but I appreciate y'all serving, because for the $100 a month that you get, I know it's very hard. You probably spend more than that on gas and time away from work. So God bless you all. Thank you to Mike, G Squared. We appreciate you coming from Beaumont all the time. And with that being said, Merry Christmas, and we will adjourn to closed executive session. Deliberation with city attorney pursuant to chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code. Deliberation with legal counsel, International Association of Firefighters, local number 1432, and also regarding pending or contemplated litigation in regards to Kenneth Myers versus the City of Orange. At this time, you're welcome to hang out outside or visit the library, and we will reconvene when time permits. All right, thank you. I don't want to mess up. Reconvene in open session. Take action necessary regarding items 12A1. Mr. Goodson.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. In accordance with recent negotiation session between the city and the International Association of Firefighters Local 1432, a supplemental collective bargaining agreement language and terms have been presented and by the city manager to council, and we recommend that the council consider these to be returned to the local for their consideration and possible approval with the effective date to be determined.
Okie dokie. All right, so we have to vote on that, okay? Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. I'm sorry about the sneeze. Ms. McKenna?
Aye.
Mr. Childs? Ms. Hennigan?
Aye.
Mr. Birch? Mr. Chandler?
Aye.
Ms. Salter?
Aye.
And I say aye as well. On to item 12A2. There is nothing to be done at this time. So do we have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor say aye. This meeting's adjourned.